Hello, and welcome to another episode of myself, Singularity. Let's Play. This is Northstar. Hope you folks are well, taking care of each other, being kind to yourselves. For those new to my channel, welcome. Who's returning? Welcome back. Oop. Whoa. Sorry about the music there. So, new folks, I'm disabled from COVID. It makes me unable to think the most quickly, get sidetracked easily. I apologize. I'm going to make this very short video, so I'm not going into much more explanation than that. But, you know, keep you folks entertained with new videos, returning ones who like the series. Audience service, I guess. Do check out my other YouTube playlists series, Let's Play series, by the way. I've got not only Singularity here, but Stellaris, Dwarf Fortress. I'm looking at maybe doing a Crisis Kremlin Let's Play, getting that. It's on sale right now. Price is kind of high and it doesn't have a large player base, but maybe that means it's niche. And even if it's not, I can probably do more videos of that just because it interests me. And I probably shouldn't be quite as worried about investing money in this channel, even taking bigger risks, something more likely to pay off like that, because if I do eventually get SSI, I'm not going to get any money until I'm below a certain savings threshold. And if I don't, I'm screwed. I'm going to become homeless and die in the street regardless in that case, because there's no way to keep a roof over my head when I'm too sick to work. So, but if I keep up my volume, gets eyes on my channel, and even if people don't like that series, maybe they never heard of it, maybe it gets them to watch my other stuff. You know, go check out my Rise of Nations Let's Play series, my Stellaris, my Hearts Iron 4, or my Civ 4 series, which I'll probably be doing Star Wars Rebellion, or Stellar Transport Company, or I don't know, something more popular. And, you know, maybe they like, subscribe, comment there, because those are the things I need. I need likes, I need subscriptions most of all, and comments. They get the algorithm to pick up on my channel more. I need to get to 500 subs before I can monetize, and that, of course, won't be worth jack all. 500 subs, you get almost nothing in money, but I can at least get that set up, and if there's any delays in that, get that taken care of, and then focus on getting lots of views and likes and watch hours and comments to push my channel and algorithm, and get to maybe where I can supplement SSI if I can get it and survive. But I don't know what the hell. I don't have relatives who've been really there for me, and I won't be able to crash with any family members. Not the one I was staying with before, who became abusive by the end of my staying with them, and it wasn't sustainable. No one else would even likely ever let me stay with them, because they're too selfish and don't want anything disrupting their life. Well, there's one person who might, if they weren't dealing with their kids have disabilities, both of them, like ones they're born with disabilities as opposed to acquired from a virus that was airborne, which I got from a roommate who came back from a business trip with COVID. And so that individual, she's relative of mine, she overwhelmed. If she wasn't, she's the only person I'm related to I might think I'd be able to crash with, if not for the fact her hands are full, so that's not going to happen. And the rest of my relatives, even when their lives are not that difficult, they'll make excuses. The family I was staying with was abusive. I obviously can't go back there. Like, had gotten to telling me they hate me on a regular basis and tearing me down and yelling at me and lying about things that happened and even sometimes slapping me. So, that part was very rare, but even talking to my therapist, even when it happened even once is too many times, and it happened twice they can remember. I could be forgetting or suppressing memories of other times, but I doubt it. But 2 times in 4 years being slapped, plus a whole bunch of emotional verbal abuse that was actually quite bad sometimes. I used to call it global abuse overall because stuff was intermittent, but I may be downplaying it. And going around telling someone you're related to you hate them, and like that they're a shadow of their former self because they have this virus. Well, not virus, but post-viral condition. Like, but I wasn't feeling bad enough about myself. Like, say I'm a shadow of my former self just because I'm not as smart or on top of things as I was when I was healthy. It's just nasty. And doing it in the same breath as saying you hate me, and I should never have had to deal with that. So, I grew up with abusive situation growing up. My dad would sometimes slap and yell and stuff. That wasn't the person I was staying with. It wasn't clear from the context. So I've had a difficult freaking life, and I pushed through it and was going to become a physician. And I got long COVID in the last semester of my special master's program when I had straight A's in that program until when I got long COVID and they didn't do retroactive withdrawals, and so turned the courses they couldn't finish the final projects for because they got sick. Like, the final projects were just beginning a couple months before the end, and yeah, if you can't do final projects, automatic Fs, and they wouldn't renegotiate that, or like most grad schools. And I was in a medical school. I think the normal side that wasn't associated with medical school even had this policy to have retroactive withdrawal policies where if you get sick, even after normal withdrawal deadlines, if you can prove it's a serious illness like a disability or major trauma or whatever, like, that takes a long time to recover from, you can get a withdrawal instead of being like failed and things you couldn't finish because of misfortune. But this school didn't, the medical school graduate program did not have that, and these pricks were just completely inflexible about this. So, but yeah, that was my final semester when I got long COVID, but I had straight A's before that. 4.0 perfect grades. They didn't do A pluses, so it was the best possible, and I was definitely going to become a physician. I had gotten interviews already for a med school when I would have had to drop out my program early to go, and they knew that, and they were still willing to consider me. I would have probably taken it if I had, because a bird in the hand or two in the bush. They decided not to take me that time, but it was pretty clear if I applied later when I was going to not have to leave the program early, I should be able to get in. And if not, then I could have taken a gap year anyways once I had my final grades in, because when I was applying to not have a year, I was applying before all the grades are in, but when it would have started right after. And then, if I had applied again once I had graduated from the program with straight A's, then, I definitely was going to get into med school somewhere, even if I had to go overseas. I was going to become a physician. And my program director suggested not even applying to Caribbean med schools for backup, but applying to ones in Australia and Ireland, which are almost as good as the ones in the US, and not as big of a difference in how they do medical education as the ones in like most of Europe. So the fact they were even suggesting I apply to better places as backups says something about their faith in me. They also knew I wanted to get out of the country because of the way politics was going. Like I mentioned that at the time. This was like 2021, so Biden was president, but I worried like that Trump would come back and things were not getting better fast enough, that damage wasn't being undone, that Trump had done this first time. Like, the fascists are going to take over in the long run. They're coming back. Trump will be back. Yeah, I didn't think Trump. I thought someone just like him. I thought he was too old and he wouldn't. But yeah, program head knew I had this opinion and was one to suggest Australia as the place I could go where I would be confident the fascists weren't about to take over the country, or Ireland, which not a lot of sunlight there, but since the Australian med school would have been like in the far a rural part of Australia, not like the pretty tourist areas. It would have been like in the Northwest Territory, whatever they call it there. Northern Territory would have been area with a lot of poverty and like scorpions and shit. So, not like a Caribbean med school where it's, you know, beautiful beach area, but better medical education, which is more important, harder to get into. I would have happily done that. My long-term goal is to maybe go like do Doctors Without Borders or something. This was before the nastiness of what's going on in the Near East had happened, and although I wouldn't have been through my medical education time to go there, going to those kinds of crisis situations and helping, you know, civilians are getting blown up because the world's going to keep generating these kind of wars because the US is a vicious global empire and has been supporting genocide since 1969. Henry Kissinger started supporting genocides around the Third World in 1969 and throughout the 70s. I think it was 69, 68, really, because stuff always has a lead time before it actually happens. And was Kissinger even there in 68? It might have been that his predecessor started the ball rolling on the very first stuff, but yeah, Henry Kissinger was a piece of human garbage, horrible human being. That's why people had to count down until Henry Kissinger is dead, because he was a horrible monster. His response to, you know, Jewish people suffering the Holocaust was, oh, I'll go do a couple Holocausts of my own in Indonesia and Bangladesh. I mean, not exactly the same thing because it wasn't targeting ethnicity, but the Indonesian genocide killed 1.1 million people that were mostly leftist trade unionists, so strong social democrats and their families. The people that were politically threatening the United States because the U.S. is like, oh, that all leads to communism and communism is evil, and so we're going to go kill them all. Or we're going to have our puppet regime do it. Based on largely exaggerated and fabricated evidence of a planned communist coup that didn't have a chance of working after the U.S. had put this right-wing puppet regime in power, overthrowing a democratically elected left-wing social democratic government, social democratic like Norway, with some Marxist influence. Yeah, Henry Kissinger was a piece of shit. Anyways, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind yourselves, and may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Hopefully I can survive, even if I'll never get to probably go and be a doctor overseas. I do.